Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to you all, wherever it is that you are joining us from. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Track and Field Talknet for another exciting interview. We are happy that you are here. We welcome you. We thank you for being here with us, wherever it is that you are joining us from. We are happy that you are here. Tonight, once again, we will be having another exciting interview. As you know, we here at Track and Field Talknet, we go and we speak to athletes, coaches, and everyone. No one is exempted from being spoken to. No one is exempted from any questions and just to find out about what is happening with them, whether it be then or now. We are happy that you are able to be here with us, and we take it as a privilege and a honor for you to join us. And tonight we will be I'm excited for this interview again tonight, and therefore I hope that you are ready for it. I hope that you are in anticipation for it also. Wherever it is that you are joining us, please remember, if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, that is our YouTube page, we ask you kindly to definitely go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube page, and also leave a comment, leave a like, and also to share and also let others know about what is happening over here. Because Track and Field Talknet, we are in the business of educating about track and field. We are also in the business of also learning about what is happening in the space, not just locally, but also internationally. And so definitely we are happy to be here. Good night to everyone who has joined us. And we thank you wherever it is that you are with us. We ask that you continue to be safe. So let us just get on with it as quickly as possible. As I said, tonight again is going to be an exciting interview, an exciting conversation with our family. A matter of fact, not even an interview per se, but an exciting conversation that we are having. Tonight we have with us another junior, and that is none other than Tavaine Stewart of Herbert Morrison. Welcome, 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 welcome to you, my dearest. Good evening to you. How are you doing, Tavaine? Tavaine, can you hear me? Tavaine, you are muted if you are hearing me. Sorry about that, everyone. It seems like he's just having some little itches there, but we definitely will be having him. He is definitely back. Greetings, greetings to you all. Welcome, Tavaine. Welcome. Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Okay, thank you so much for being here with us. Good night, Miss Allen. Good night, Shauna. Good night, Miss Morehouse. Thank you so much for being here. I see Tavaine, your community is here with you. Miss Morehouse says, Tavaine, my community hero. Wow. We haven't even started as yet. And, persons are just giving you your props. So, how are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm feeling a bit tired, just finished training today, a couple hours ago.
Just Okay, sorry about that. I know it can be rough a bit, but I thank you so much still, even
Nope.
though, training was a little bit tiresome, that you still take the time out to just be
Yeah.
with us and just have a
Yeah.
little conversation with us. We are grateful for that. We are grateful for that. So, Tavin, let us start by, so we have in the track and Oh, Jesus, man. I say that because your former captain saying goodnight to you in you guys' own way, right? So we have seen Tavain in the big side of Tavain. But tell us about a little bit about what the world don't know about Tavain, Tavain, the junior Tavain or the baby Tavain. Tell us about that Tavain.
I'm sorry. You went out for a minute. I
I
wasn't
went
hearing
out.
you.
Sorry about that.
Could
I'm
you please
saying,
repeat the question?
tell us about Tavain. Tell us about you. Things that we don't
Well,
know about you.
things that you don't know. Well, I'm a very quiet person. I don't like to be in. I'm very. Even though I've been running a lot and I've been getting a lot of interviews since I've started running. I'm still not used to it fully as yet. I get a bit nervous once I get interviews, and I'm not. I don't like to be seen, but I'm a very quiet person. I like to enjoy. I like to be around my friends. Um, I'm very quiet and happy.
You're very quiet. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
I'm
have
very
thought
quiet.
that.
Really?
That's
Why not?
because
Why not?
because your personality for me seems a little bit out there. So I wouldn't have thought that. And nothing is wrong with that because my personality is out there and I'm quiet
No,
too. But I
no, no.
wouldn't have just seen you and thought that
I'll
you're
talk
quiet.
more when I'm with people I'm comfortable with. Like once I'm comfortable with you, I'll talk a lot. But if I'm not really comfortable, I'm just gonna be quiet for most of the time.
Okay, so now I understand why I wouldn't have thought that because I've always
Mm.
seen you around your former captain DeAndre, and you guys are always.
Yeah, probably
So I now I
that's the
understand.
reason.
Now I understand. Okay, so I see that Miss Morehouse says you are a God-fearing person. How does that work for you in terms of how do you bring across that part of you into track and field? Sorry again, guys. We're just having some little technical difficulties with the internet, but we are going to do this interview tonight. Comes up, mate. It's going to be an exciting one in spite of anything that is happening, though. I'm just waiting on him to just give us a few minutes and we will be right back as we just sort out what is happening here. Just a moment. We are sorry for that. We apologize for that, but we are back now. Thank you for staying with us, everyone. We do appreciate it as we took the time to, sort out that. We apologize for that little break there. Joining us, Tavaine is one of our admin, also a school. Odion, how do I call it? I always can't say it. A former Herbert Morrison Stewart of your kind. He is straight a Herbert Morrison, big fan, and that is Odion, the statisticianist in the group here at Track and Field Talknet that is joining us. Odi, your mic is muted.
Most definitely. Good evening, Mr. Stewart. Good evening to our listeners and our viewers in Track and Field TalkNet. I am Odion Grant. Just a note that you're doing well, sir. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. Everything's okay. How are you?
I am great, actually. Thank you so much for asking. Um, Earlier, I
Yeah.
heard my colleague asking you a couple of questions, saying that she's a bit surprised that you're quiet and all of that. Um, I would have observed your performances on the track and off the track, and yeah, um, you're from the eastern side of St. James. I think you are from the Dumfries area.
Yeah. I'm from a place called Goodwill.
Yeah, Goodwill. That is it.
Yeah,
Goodwill.
yeah.
Right. One of my colleagues at work, she basically brags about you every day. Um, yeah, man, Simone Matheson. So,
Yeah. That's my cousin.
right. So, good stuff. But how are you doing otherwise, though?
Everything is okay, just here in preparation, getting ready for champs, just thinking about champs, I missed the character trials because of personal reasons, but my focus now is just
Okay.
I also missed you at
get
character
ready
trials
for champs.
also. Okay.
So, your first year in class one, looking to compete at the Boys and Girls Championships. What are your goals and objectives for this year? It's really a competitive year. How do you look to gauge yourself throughout what is left of the season and ensuring that you deliver one of your best performance, if not your very best, at the championship in order to perform at your optimum level, which we know you can. Saw you in your early days of class three, I think earning what was it? I think you
Gold
literally
medal.
won the medal in
Yeah, you
class
won the
three.
gold in class 3 for the
Yeah.
100.
Yes, and since then we have had a group of athletes who would have been competing very well, and you would have your ups and downs with injuries and so forth. But how do you look to shape this 2025 up to a great year?
Well, it's always competitive. Track and field Jamaica is very competitive. We can
Mhm.
say once you're in the final, you can't guess who's gonna win because you have eight athletes who have the ability to win. So for me, it's all about preparing myself personally. It's not about can do. It's all about preparing myself. So I just gotta focus on my task, do what I can do, and not what they are doing. I just gotta focus on myself because they are. You hear
Mhm.
me?
Well, I'm hearing you better now. You were coming in and out just now, but I hear you asking me if I'm hearing you.
He's freezing again because
Yeah,
he's
I'm not.
having.
Yeah, I'm having terrible
Well,
internet
we're
problem.
hearing you now. You can continue.
So I'm saying that track and field in Jamaica is always competitive. You can't guess who is gonna win. So it's all about preparing myself personally, working on my mistakes, anything that I've done wrong in my past races. I just gotta fix it so I can better myself because no matter what, track and field in Jamaica is gonna always be competitive.
Most definitely. Rock the maroon and beige. I notice you're wearing a color that slightly looks like the school up on the hill. Hope there's no intention of moving to such school,
What
and
what
Herbert Morris will
what's
always be your home.
what school is that? What school is that?
Oh, you don't
I'm
recognize the
sorry. I'm
trust.
sorry. I only know Herbert Morrison.
Ah,
Uh,
that's a good one, and keep it that way. That's a good one, Tavaine.
definitely.
Don't let Odie sway anything in your mind. You keep it that way. Tavaine, as Odion has said earlier, that we know that injuries had plagued you before. How are you now? We know that is your first year class one. How is that going? How is training going for you for the 2025 season now?
Um, Training's going good actually. I feel like I'm on a very good part pertaining to training. I've been very focused this year. My goals at the early season was to make the character team, but unfortunately, something had happened that I couldn't make it. So, trainings continue to go good. In great form. I haven't had any injury since season, so that's something to be thankful for.
Mm-hmm.
Training is going good. I feel like I'm in the best form that I've ever been since class three, even better than class three. So hopefully everything goes well when the big moment comes.
Well, that sounds very exciting, Tavaine. I mean, I am excited to hear that because I know you're full of potential and your talent. Looking at you executing your races, I am always like, okay, watch how you come out of the blocks and transition to mid race, coming out of your dry phase. You basically have great technique, still a little bit of improvements where you can make in terms of getting your race cleaned up somewhat and all of that. In terms of your overall execution, you tend to start very well, and your mid race is also great. What plans do you and your coach now have in place in terms of getting your last 30 somewhat better in order to maintain that early start? Are you a fan of the 200-meter event that can actually improve your speed, endurance, and so forth in the latter part of your 100 meters?
I'm sorry, the Wi-Fi went out for a bit. Could you please repeat that question?
Right. I was saying that I always admire your start and in terms of your overall drive phase and the way you execute to about mid race when you transition and your turnovers and all of that is excellent. But in terms of your final touch, your finishing um, strength and touch. Are there any plans that you and your coach have in terms of working on the last 30 meters in order to hold off the field when you're off to a great start and all of that? Have you guys been doing any 200 meters as speed endurance work in order to improve upon your 100 meters?
Actually, if you watched my race in season, it's quite the opposite, and that's the same thing that I have in mind right now. I've been getting bad starts, and I've been always running back now. So I don't. It's not something that I want to adapt to. I really want my start, but right now I'm just working on my start because my first 20 meter, it's very slow now. It's very other than last season, but now it's very slow. But my last 20 meter is very fast. I'm always running back. So if you watch
Great.
my 4x2 at Gibson, it shows that I have tapping speed.
Excellent.
There's just
In Great. So in terms of those improvements, I must ask because what is basically happening with you in terms of your improvements in the latter part of your races? Those improvements are noticeable as well. But you were somewhat of a ace starter back then, and you're trying to recover that start that you once had. Are you close to DeAndre Daly though? Because that's another athlete that I would have admired, and he too. You wonder where that top end speed comes from in the latter part of his race. Would have actually been known for having great starts at one point or at some point, and then would have actually find it difficult to actually execute those great starts in his latter years due to injuries. Would you say, due to some injury concerns earlier that you would have had, that would have actually have your starts not so on point as it once was?
DeAndre is laughing. DeAndre is laughing after your comment, Odion, and
Yeah, man, I
I
recognize.
think he is, because you made reference to him, and I made reference to Tavaine, until his internet comes back. I made reference to Tavaine Rundown. I mean, for persons who know us here, we call DeAndre Mr. Rundown. But
Yeah, most
Tavaine at Gibson Relays,
Am I
Tavaine.
close to the Andre Daily? um, I will not get ahead of myself right now. I'm a very good athlete, but I'm not at the 1008 level as yet. But hopefully, I can be there this season or soon. We always compete at training because he's still with me. He's still close to me, so we always compete. But I always compete about the start. So now that we're both in the same boat, we're trying to get that start. I'm not sure how's that going right now. But I'm working on my start. But to the Andre Daily level, no, not as yet. Not as yet. Soon though.
But is that as soon? I like that aspiration that
I like the
soon.
confidence.
Yeah, soon you will get there. I must say, I was speaking about
Yeah.
what you did at Gibson in that relay at Gibson relay, and it definitely did remind me personally of that rundown that you did. You got the button in fifth place and you ended up second. That was
Repetitive
exceptional.
of Mr. Daly himself. Lati, remember that said,
Definitely. It was just reminiscent of him exactly. So the comparison that we are putting you against, we know that you are teammates, and for me, I think you both consider each other brothers, like jointly brothers. I mean, I am seeing definitely some of DeAndre tactics rubbing off on you and coming off on you. And also it's one of the reasons why definitely yours definitely missed for me at Carifta trials, but definitely we will definitely see you at champs. And
It's the same coach.
you're saying both of you guys are still being coached by the same coach currently.
yes, I think they are both coached by Claude Grant currently.
Sorry.
Currently, yeah. So they still train together. Right, right.
No, we're
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
that you and
So
DeAndre is
remember
still
this.
coached by Claude Grant currently.
Yeah. We both still train with the same coach. So the technique of running back is something that we're gonna have in similar. We both train to run down. That's why we always run the ankle legs on our races. So we have it in our mind that no matter what position we're in, we're gonna run to catch you. So you could be 20 meters ahead of us, 30
Coming
meters
like
ahead
an
of us.
express train.
We're just gonna come to catch you. We might sometimes we do, sometimes we don't, but our mentality is to always catch you and never go behind.
I
All
I
right,
I,
so it
I
seems
like that mentality.
Tavaine, that Herbert Morrison has, while developing you guys as individuals in terms of talented individuals to compete individually, and also in team relays. Is there some extra motivation? Is there some unity, that level of gel that and chemistry that occurs there in terms of training, how you guys relate to each other? Because there's something about the Herbert Morrison sprinters. Once they get a baton in their hand, they tend to just not just doing it for themselves, but rather a team, a nation. They are carrying the weight of a nation on their shoulders. Would you say that is something that Coach Claude Grant would have instilled, that it's not just about you, it's also about the team spirit?
Yeah, he always said that no matter how fast we're running or how much things we have accomplished through track and field, it's all about the team. The team always come first. We are both trained equally. We're not more than each other. So we get the same training as the team. So it's not like we get separate training. The entire team get the same training. So it's all about the team. We do everything for the team. So that's why when we do really, no matter how much we're ranked going into races, we just run our best because the team always come first. There's nobody no better than nobody or nothing like that.
What's your favorite event of the two, the 100 or the 200 meters, and why?
Oh, the 100 meter definitely. I haven't had luck with the 200 meter since what class three when I got that bronze medal. I don't think I haven't made a 200-meter final since that again.
Okay.
So being the 100 meter is your best event, your event.
Yes, that's my favorite.
Currently your PB is 10:55.
Yes.
Are we looking for roughly 10:4, late 10:3 for a new PB for 2025?
Currently.
You're
Clive,
here.
I think you and I are in the same bracket because that's where my aspiration that I am trying to manifest for him is. I just wanted to see where his own is.
Yeah. Looking. What time did you say?
I was
Sorry.
asking if you're looking for a 10:4 or a 10:3. My aspiration is 10:3, but I was asking where is it that your mindset is? You know your body. Where are you looking? Clive also says 10:3.
Well, 10-4 is a definitely. And I'm not trying to be overconfident, but I know where my body is at since January to now. So I think I'm definitely in 10-4 form and faster. Exact time that you might see a champs though, or what form or how fast I'm running, you'll just have to watch the clock. I'm so sorry.
Well,
Definitely. Do not give anything to the pundits because you are basically preparing. So we don't expect you to really put the time out there, but just to let those persons who are going to be competing with you be ready. So that's smart of you. And I am pretty sure that your coach and yourself have various targets which you guys want to meet to ensure. And I know Claude Grant, he does not necessarily put the pressure on his athletes in terms of times. He just prepare them well and ask them to execute the races on that he would like. So it is through that execution now that the time will come. So I am confident that you guys will do well.
you're back with us.
Yes, I am.
Okay. I know I know one of DeAndre, your brother, will be missing this year if it is that you guys will be going to Pens. How do you feel
I'm
about it
sorry.
if it
Hold on.
is that? Okay, so I'm going to use the other one. All right.
I hear
Sorry
you.
about that, guys. Okay. All right, sorry about that. Right, I was saying, how do you, if it is that Herbert Marshall will be going to Pens this year again, how do you feel about that one going into it? You know, without that encouragement that you normally would have had in DeAndre, how do you feel now? Because your team is one person down, but is still a team together. How do you feel about that?
Well, even though DeAndre Dale is gone, we still have his encouragement. He's still around us to encourage us in whatever we do. But pertaining to the team, we have a good team going into the Premier League. We have a good all-round team. I think that team went 40.6. We went 40.5. We went actually since season. We're in 40.5 this season at the Camperdown Classic. So we just need to get our button exchange right. Some of our athletes were out. Our best athletes were out, so we didn't get to use our best athletes. So hopefully we can get more from team by Premier time come.
By period of time comes. Okay. Wearing the Herbert Marshall, flying the Herbert Marshall flag high is a good thing. Wearing the Jamaica colors, flying that flag. I know, as you rightfully said earlier, your aspiration was to be at Carifta, which for unseen reason didn't happen. Is there any other, what would I say, any other avenues to wear that black, green, and gold for us this year?
Well, yeah, definitely you have the Pan American Games coming up. So I guess
Okay.
that's the next meet for me nationally since I missed the um
Carifta.
Carifta Games. Maybe if are any other meets coming up, because my goal this season is to represent the country nationally. Actually, I didn't have a goal pertaining to champs. I haven't set a goal that I want at champs. My goals this season were just to make the national team. So even though everyone is expecting me to be at champs, I will be there, but it's not the big thing for me.
Mr. Stewart, you mentioned earlier that you are a quiet person and all of that, and you're trying to work on your interviewing skills. But I must say, I am extremely proud of your eloquence. I mean, your tone and the way you communicate. I think Herbert Morrison, a great institution, especially when it comes down to the English language and all of that. You sound very eloquent. Would you say that that is also part of the coaching regime that Coach Claude Grant or the Herbert Morrison handlers would see to it that after races and so forth, you guys are trained in how you to answer questions in an interview?
Actually, no, we haven't been trained to answer questions in an interview. I think it's just in us. That's how we learn to speak or whatever. But it isn't trained, no, sir.
It is the
Just
Herbert Morrison spirit.
just Herbert Martin, the Herbert
I,
Martin.
I can
The
attest.
the
The Herbert Morrison technical high.
the Herbert Morrison. I smile because whenever Odion speaks of Herbert Morrison, the always come before it. So I realize that
Definitely.
it's an Herbert Morrison. It's a Herbert
It's a
Morrison
Herbert
thing for
Morrison
you
thing.
guys.
It is.
Okay. Um,
So other than the 100 meters, your pet event, your preferred event, you made mention earlier that the 200 meters is an event that you also compete in, but you have not done as well in that event when you compared yourself with 100. Other than the sprints, which is a 1-2, which other event would you see yourself in, if not the 1-2?
All right. When you mean see yourself in, do you mean as a
In
personal
terms of if you were
or
not running, right, right. If you were
oh,
not running the 1-2, which other event do you think you would be able to deliver reasonable performance at?
track or field?
Any
either
event.
one. Interesting.
Um, I'll say the long jump. Long jump.
Last year, see the sprinter coming out again.
That's what I was about to say. They
400.
are-
400 training. I don't see myself running 400. Never.
Yeah.
DeAndre, why would you want
That's
to
what
do
he
that?
wants. That's what he wants. That's what he wants.
And I don't think he's bad at it, Mr. Daly himself. But that's actually a good event, Mr. Stewart. I think the long jump is also good.
I'll run the
But
400 actually, I'll run it, but not definitely not as a personal event. But I'll run it for training purposes. I've run the 4x4 at the Western Championship this season. And I haven't run any single 400, but only the 4x4 I've run at the Western Championship.
But I mean that I could see him doing the long jump though, Odie. As I said, the
most
sprinter,
definitely.
yeah, I could see you doing the long jump and doing well in it once it is committed to it. Firstly, Odion was asking about um in terms of your eloquence. So I want to come on the pathway of how do you manage or differentiate your timing as it relates to schoolwork and also training.
Well, it's not easy, I live very far from school, so sometimes training over very late, and I reach home very late. But I'm also a student, so I'm a student athlete. So you just got to make time. It's hard, but you can do it. It's easy. It's hard, but it's it's hard, but you have to just have your mind at the right place
It's
and know
hard, but
that.
it's easy to want. It's easy for you to want to do it because you
No,
want.
no, no, actually, it's very hard because you reach home, you're tired, you want to sleep, and but you have work during the morning, but in your head you're motivated and you have it in your head that hey, I don't want to be failing school even though I'm an athlete. So that fact that you don't want to fail school, it pushes you to do work and get better at schoolwork. It's not easy. It's not easy to be a student athlete. It's very hard. But you just know that you have to do it because that's the situation you're in.
All right. So in terms of sprinting, you would have actually aspired, I can assume, to be one of Jamaica's top sprinter in the near future. Now, looking at our cadre of male sprinters now or past sprinters, um, which sprinter would you emulate in terms of, or would you like to emulate in terms of their technique and their mechanics in terms of um, how they execute the race? It doesn't have to mean the person that you see has the speedster or who is actually the fastest person, but somebody that you think their technique would actually be so good if you were to emulate that person's technique.
Um, let's see. Asava Poel.
All right, Latoya,
I,
we expected that one, right?
I
I would.
waited with waited breath. I said the name in my head and I was hoping he would have
Love
come through with
Tavaine.
it.
Yeah.
Good.
Asafa is indeed a great sprinter when it comes down to his technical stuff and all of that. Great starter as well, good mid race, and yeah,
Execution,
execution
everything.
is on point.
Tavaine, what do you favor in school in terms of where is your career path or the subject area in which it is that you are currently striding towards?
Well, I would like to be in the business career part, but my class, the name of my class in school is General Technical Studies. So we
Oh, the
do,
great GTS. Hey,
yeah. So I mean, not
what you
GTS.
know?
Well, it's GTS when I was in grade 11, grade 10 and 11, but now it's just GS, which is General Studies.
Oh, okay.
So I'm currently doing four CAPE subjects: tourism, communication studies, management of business, and physical education. Unit one,
Great.
You just said communication?
communication
Study.
studies. Yeah.
Okay. That
Explains.
no,
Right.
it explains it. It explains it clearly.
Yeah.
It also contributes. It also contributes to the technique that you uses throughout your interviews, because public speaking is a gift, and I mean, when you speak, you are so eloquent. We are also, pardon me again, we are also, Tavaine, I will tell you that you are loved, very muchly loved, very
Yes.
much.
Thank you. Thank you. I can see that also.
Yes, no, just no, don't ever think that you are not. You are very muchly loved. You carried out a lot of persons here tonight,
And
and I mean,
appreciated even by persons that you would not know, but they
yes,
would have actually know you through track and field and through your school and all of that. As I would have said earlier, I'm hearing lots of comments and persons actually showing you and talking all good things about you and wishing you all the very best. So keep it up.
very
Yep.
much. So
Thank
we
you.
are also joined again. One of the reasons why you're loved, we're also joined again tonight with another admin, Mr.
Should I
Kino
say one of our
Cummings,
residents?
right?
Resident as
Kino, the
well.
hard one. Kino, the hard one, is here with us tonight. Kino, do you have anything for Tavaine as you come in?
Well, it sounded as if you guys were closing, but good night, everybody. Big up yourself, Tavaine,
Good night.
fellow Montegonian, and I think your future is bright. Just continue pushing, continue listening to your coach, following your program, and the sky's the limit.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Even
Thank you.
even though we are not closing, I'm just going to do that little thing that I get to ask Tavaine my set of questions, because tonight is not about me. I'm just the accommodator tonight. Tonight is
Okay.
about Odion and because it realizes Odi just going. So
Yeah. Yeah. No problem.
yeah, yeah, man. It works that way well too. Odi already asked you about who you see you would want to emulate in track and field as a male. However, I want to ask you along the female aspect of things in terms of, so my question, I take back the female aspect first. As juniors, currently you're seeing juniors, currently some juniors going, please turn it back.
Try.
Thank you, because you are going to have them twisting their head. So thank
Yeah.
you for that. Mhm. Currently, we're seeing a lot of juniors going pro. How, as a junior yourself, how do you feel about that? What is your thought space along that line? If it is that another junior like yourself would come up to you and ask for your opinion on that, what would that be?
Well, I support it actually. Going pro. If you have the ability and you can manage the training, I think you should go. Um, I haven't seen most of athletes going to college overseas, and when they come back, they're not on their best form. So if you have the ability to go pro, go run and make your money. Make use of what track and field has to give you. You know, make your money. I support it. I support it.
Okay. Thank you for that thought
Going
space.
pro though does not going pro though does not necessarily mean that you are basically stopping your education. Would you
No, no, no.
encourage?
That's the thing. That's the thing.
Right,
You can
right,
go and also do education, but I'm talking about either going pro or going to college overseas to run
right.
for them. Because personally, if I were to ever go pro, I'll also continue my education because there are a lot of things that can happen in track and field. Injuries can happen that can put you out. So I always plan to have a backup. So I'll never throw away my education. No.
Most definitely, because it's very important. And I think your colleague DeAndre would have spoke about that on his interview here with us as well about um, education and its importance and why athletes at the junior level who is considering going pro should ensure that it is not a case where they are actually quitting school but trying to balance that side of track and field with education because as you rightfully mentioned one injury and it could be so severe that you could be on the outside being the 12th man watching as a spectator and as such you would have no choice but to turn back to education. So I really commend your understanding of that issue and situation and the importance. And I'm pretty sure that other juniors watching you tonight would take your advice and to ensure that they basically balance the books along with balance the life of being a junior athletes and one that seeks to become one of Jamaica's professional athletes in the near future.
Yes, yes.
If not track and field, what other sport would you choose?
Oh, this is a very easy question. Um, and there's a story that comes behind this. It's football, definitely football. I've started off playing football. Track and field was a sport that I didn't want to do actually, and as I said, it's a story that comes behind it. But it's definitely football.
You were running away when you were basically dribbling with the ball and actually realizing that you were too fast. So you'd say, you know what? Let me just
Definitely, that's the thing. That's the thing why I didn't want to do track and field because I was never like this. I was much fatter, had on more weight playing football. Coming to Herbert Morrison in grade 7. Um, I was transferred here from Cornwall College, and I was told that I had to do track and field, which was a wow for me because I've never run. I only ran at sports day, and I got run left at sports day. So I was wondering why should I come here and run to get the same run left. So the first 2 months in track and field was kind of hard for me, knowing that I didn't want to do it at all. Track and field was never the sport for me. I love to watch it. I'll always watch it, but me doing it was a no-no.
How long did it take you to fall in love with track and field after trying?
Until probably my first race, where I came third overall at the meet. Then I was like, wow, I actually can run. Because even at training, I was always falling. My teammates were always running with me. So I was wondering what's going on and why am I doing this? I used to cry every night to my mom. I don't want to go back to track and field. But until my first track meet where I actually won came third in overall in the meet, actually saw that hey, maybe it's something that I can do. And then over time, that love just got more and more and more.
Well, I'm happy that, well, for me as a track and field fan, I'm happy that you did not choose football and you came into track and field so that we were able to see and embrace your talent, that which you have. I mean, because maybe we wouldn't be watching football like that
Probably.
to see
Well,
this
Latoya, you have to
level.
speak for yourself.
No, that's why I said I. That's why I said I am happy.
Definitely, most definitely. But like Mr. Stewart, I balance the love of my two favorite sports, track and field and football.
Yeah,
Yeah,
football.
if
Love
the
football.
world knows though to share them, track and field will get the nod, 60-40. So
Yeah. For me, definitely, it's track and field right now. But before then, it was just straight football.
Straight football.
Tavaine, you speak very well, speak very eloquently. Someone who seems very, uh, it seems as if you have lived a long time, more than your age. Um, you spoke about the importance of education and balance in the books, as Odion said. What would you say to those people who they get the offer, they take the offer, and they forget about education? What would you say to the younger ones like yourself who, say, boy, I just want the money. Me not go back on no more school. What do you say to them?
Well, as I said before, I remind them about injuries. Injuries is something that you can't run from. The older your body get, the different your muscles will be, and you can't run forever. So you can't be continuing to run and then thinking that the money is just gonna come and come and come. So I always remember them about injury. You need a backup. You can't run forever and then thinking that you're gonna always make money. Injury is gonna come. Some might be able to. Some might you might be able to bounce back from, but some of them will take you home. So I always remember them of that. So giving them, telling them education is something that they
how
should do.
important
Huh? Repeat?
no, I was saying how important I wanted you to finish your point. I had a question for you, but I'll
Yeah,
prefer if you just finish your
I'll
point.
just remember them about injuries. Injury is something that you can't run from. So it's always good to have a backup. That's something my parents tell me. That's something everyone, even my coach, that's something he tells me himself. That's why he always pushes me to do well in school, especially the fact that he is currently my vice principal. So he pushes me to do well in school. So education is something
And
that
is that Mr. Apud Watson?
she's now the acting principal.
Miss Apud Watson?
Is now the acting principal.
Oh, okay. Great. No, I was saying how important would you say dieting is as an athlete, not just in terms of your overall health, but in terms of reducing the risk of injuries.
Well, a diet is very important, for athlete. You need your athlete, you need protein, but you also need a mix of carbohydrates, and you need different nutrients in your body. So dieting is very important for you to become stronger, to build your muscles, to help you in training. So I think it's very important. Sometimes, as young athletes, I can say for myself that I fall short of a healthy diet at times, but it's very important for us.
Absolutely. Where do you see yourself in the next couple of years? Transition from high school into the professional rank. Do you see yourself? I know it's quite early. I know things might change or may change. Do you see yourself being coached locally or internationally? And if it is that you have a preference, why?
I love to be at home, and it's not like we don't have good coaches here in Jamaica. So I see myself coaching locally, staying at home, running at home, being close at home is always good for me. So it's just about me being home, and it's not like we don't have good coaches here.
Okay, great. All
You
right.
you
So in
you
terms
said,
of,
sorry, I'm just piggybacking on
go
your
ahead.
question, Ode. You
Go
said
ahead.
you said that you prefer being home locally. That this question is if you would choose this to answer it. You don't have to, but if you do, I would appreciate it. If you had to choose now, if you had the choice of choosing now, locally, which camp do you think your thought space would align to being the person who you are, the athlete you are now, and which camp do you think? It is a choice if you choose this to answer it though. If you don't, that's fine.
If I were to go professionally right now, I'll probably just stay with my coach. Actually,
Yeah.
I'm not ready to leave. He's the person that brought me in the track and field, so me leaving him is not something that's ever been to my mind as yet. So, and I've always progressed over the years, so it's not like there is anything negative happening right now with my coach. So, if I were to stay or go professional, I will definitely stay with Mr. Grant.
All right.
You are
And the
you,
name Grant is a great name, as you know, right? It's one of the strongest names there is.
Very much, very much, very much.
Right. He would have also coached talented juniors, not necessarily those who would have transitioned to the senior ranks, right? But the likes of a Dexter Lee, Anthony Campbell, persons like DeAndre Daly, and even at the high end of the professional rank, in 2011, he would have also coached Veronica Campbell Brown to that 200 meter, elusive 200-meter world title in Daegu, South Korea, where she actually claimed gold. So Mr. Grant definitely has experience not just with junior athletes but seniors. Do you think with a small group of professional athletes that you think that it would be better for you having the opportunity to get more individual attention within the camp as opposed
Yeah,
to going
I
to a
think the
bigger
smaller,
camp where
I think the smaller the group is, the better. No, the better he will be. He's just one person, so you can't expect him alone to coach, say 10 athletes or even more than that. So the lesser athletes there for him, it's better that he can focus on each of us. So the lesser, the better.
How much I want to ask this question based on what you said. How much does the individual attention weigh into your program as opposed to just writing the program and giving it to you?
Could you please repeat that?
No, so I'm asking, how much does the individual attention that you get from your coach, how much weight does that carry in your mind as opposed to him just writing a program and giving it to a few of you?
It doesn't weigh in my mind, and as I said, we're a group. We train as a group, so we don't get individual programs until we the group get less. So for example, we're training for champs. All the 100 meter sprinters get the same program. We I may get a few things at times differently, but the program is basically the same.
I
So it
asked the
doesn't.
question because as a coach, trained coach myself, you sometimes would tweak your program depending on how the athlete is progressing. So in general, you may have a particular program right across the board for all 100-meter athletes, as you said, but uh, you have a Tavaine in your camp who is an exceptional athlete and he is progressing a little bit more than the others. How do you think it is necessary from the coaching standpoint for the attention to be more? Because a lot of athletes complain in a lot of camps that those who are quote unquote elite or those who are progressing more get more attention. Do you think it's important?
Well, I've never looked at it like that. I've never been the type to say that, hey, I'm running faster, so I deserve more attention, or you should give me more attention. I believe that we should all get the same attention. As long as I'm progressing, I'm happy. If there's a problem with me not getting attention now, that's where I would talk to him. But about me getting more attention than the others, no, we are all equal. So as much as I'm running faster, or whatever, I think we should get the same program also. So I don't think it's something that is needed. As long as you're getting your program, you're doing your program, you will run fast.
Tavaine, I know from your earlier days you were grown well. You were grown with your family in church. Is it safe to say that you're still grounded in the Christian faith?
Yes,
Because
definitely.
I always the balance in which you speak is always one that is fair and not just a selfish one. Just listening to you just now.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not baptized as yet, but I'm actually looking forward to being baptized. But I'm just worrying about a couple things. But I'm very involved in church. I think the third Sunday I'll be singing at church. So I'm very involved in church.
Great. Which church do you attend, if I may ask?
The Bethel Baptist Church.
Okay, I'm very well familiar with that church in that area.
Yeah.
Great.
What is the one thing you think you would love to see happen for track and field in Jamaica to help the juniors move over better or transition better to seniors?
It's one thing I would like to see for the juniors. I think the meets that the big meets, for example, say you have champs, you have after champs you have the character games, then you have the pen release. I think you could give them a little more spacing for at least to recover from meets, because most athletes they are being burnt out in the high school level. So I'm not sure is that a competition problem or it's just the school and their program. But most athletes are being burnt out at the high school level, because after the high school level, you don't see most of them anymore. So I think
When you
the
mention
space,
spaces in between, though, are you referring to the spaces between the meet or space between in the meet itself between events or having reduced the athlete's workload, something that ISA would normally push for in order to try and preserve the longevity of the athletes?
yes, true. We need
The
back for
answer
tracking.
said that we need a
Need
track in
back for track.
Montego Bay.
Yes, we would need
And
back
I
for
want
tracking.
to agree with you. Those in
And
favor, I say aye. I want to agree.
Aye.
aye. Because that's all, and I wasn't even thinking about that, because it's very hard for us leaving Montego Bay to go to either St. Catherine.
Or Kingston. I
Yes.
I agree. I agree with that. The fact that they need back the track in Montego Bay. I also do think that schools in the West also need, better facilities to assist. Because I mean, we tend to find that facilities that may look much better or is much better tends to be in the Kingston area. So
Yeah, man.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Most
And then
definitely. And Latoya, most definitely, even outside of just thinking about Kingston for what it is, though, Western Champs doesn't seem Western without it being held in Western Jamaica. That's simple put.
I,
Having Western Champs or
definitely.
Western Relays at GC Foster, that's more southeastern part of the country. And we would love to see the Western region having the opportunity to resume hosting some of these major championship at the junior level and at the senior level as well. Because Milo Western Relay, for example, is or used to be a major relay carnival for the people of Western Jamaica, particularly those in St. James and specific to Montego Bay as well and surrounding parishes.
Yeah, it's a challenge. It's something that I think the powers that be need to make some real investments, in, and if they can't find the money within the organization, then they need to invite persons from corporate Jamaica to invest and to get things going. It is sad to see the facilities wasting away. Um, there's just so much wastage in Jamaica. You go up to Chilani, the stadium is up there. It's basically a cow pasture, you know.
That is so true,
Yeah,
Kino.
it's just so much wastage. I think we lack vision, and those people who control sport in general in Jamaica lack vision because brand Jamaica is money. um,
It is. It
just
is.
brand Jamaica is money, and they don't seem to understand how to leverage brand Jamaica to get the support from the
DeAndre
partners.
is saying that we are performing at top level while training on grass. Imagine if we got a taste of the synthetic track like the corporate schools, like the Calabar KCJC, and what is at the National Stadium. And I agree with him. Those schools in Western Jamaica would also develop and show much more improvement in terms of their abilities because what it is that they would, a time that they would put down on track that will easily be replicated on the Chevron. So I think that
Listen,
something that we could look
I,
at.
I remember coaching at Yorton Primary. I was working with Coach Minzy at the time, who was also at St. Jago, and Ashanti Moore was there at Yorton Primary. Didn't even know her own potential. Didn't even know that she would have been representing Jamaica in the future. And that girl was producing sometimes at primary level on
Mm-hmm.
grass. And when the opportunity came for her to transition into high school and to experience the running on Chevron and all of that, it we you see vision is something that sometimes even coaches lack. And Coach Minzy made sure that he chose along with her family the best path for her to go down. And I think that is where the investment needs to be and the mindset needs to be of the administrators to invest in some of these schools that are outside of Kingston because everything is concentrated in Kingston
Right,
and
and
and,
Kingston is
and
not Jamaica.
is
And
not
while it
Jamaica.
is and while it is important to have vision, one also has to be mindful that vision only will not do. It's the implementation of, of those visions that will see whatever we want to see materialize coming to the fore. So it's always good to have a plan, have an idea, but it's now how do you execute that vision now and put it into action for you to now reap the benefits later. Just to acknowledge some of our viewers who are actually watching on the various social media platforms. We just want to recognize you guys. We're seeing the comments, we're seeing the love, and we are here and we want to commend you for sticking with us throughout this discussion. We are basically discussing track and field. Our guest tonight is Tavaine Stewart from Herbert Morrison. He's a 100 and 200 meter sprinter, first year in class one, and basically he is preparing for the ISA Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championship, which is just around the corner. And he is basically telling us we are actually awaiting him back online. We're just trying to sort out some technical stuff with him and our main host. And we just want you guys to stick around while we have some meaningful discussion with the youngster.
I mean, like every week when we have these interviews, and we have been doing this for a while now, from we were on the first platform until now, and we have been talking about it. Mainstream media has been talking about it. The investment of capital, the injection of capital into the sport. It's you said something a while ago and it dawned on me. It's not a matter of or a lack of vision. It's execution of that vision or to execute that vision that is the problem. And
Right.
it stands to reason that a lot of the people who are in the sport and have the power to make the change are just taking from the sport and not putting into the sport. That's the only conclusion I can draw.
Yeah, I mean, it is very important that we have persons at different levels in any organization. That is one of the reasons why you have government that they do the policy, but we have the technical persons implementing that. And it is no different in the sport of track and field or any sport there is. The National Stadium is currently under reconstruction of the track. We are having issues at GC Foster's at times. Montego Bay, which is the Cafe Stadium, is actually down for so many years. I mean, we are asking the relevant persons, the minister, we're asking the various stakeholders, the lovers of track and field, the supporters to push it, to let the various persons who are in charge know that we want to see track and field development continues in Jamaica, and without we having adequate facilities, then we will actually not able to move our transition in the direction that we ought to.
The powers that be talk a lot, and I think a lot of what they say is incongruous with what the reality is, and
Yeah.
it,
Mm-hmm.
it takes effort, it takes planning, and it takes people who genuinely love the sport to get things to where it needs to be. And I don't believe a lot of these people are really for track and field. I think a lot of them are for themselves. I think that is where it
Yeah.
is. There is absolutely no way Catherine Hall Stadium should be down and out of commission for
For so
so
long.
long. For so long.
Yeah. And nothing has been done in order to inject some sort of effort to speed up the process, to get persons' hopes or confidence back up, to say that, you know what, it's just a matter of time. We're working, and we have not been able to even get reports as to what's happening, what's the time frame that we're waiting on for the completion or for at least the start of the renovation or something. It's just out there as if it is just left like a child who is neglected by his or her parents.
Boy, but no, no, it's a general apathy in my
Yes.
view. It's like people them just don't care. Like it's not just. I mean, it's more pronounced in Western Jamaica because there is this mindset that Kingston is Jamaica, but it's more pronounced here where people are just. But I think if you look at it in general and how track and field is being managed in Jamaica, there is a general problem. There is a general problem that needs to be sorted out. I think a lot of the old guards need to take themselves away. I think a lot of them need to have become relics, and relics belong in museums.
And would have served
We
their time, and it's now time to
They've
transition
served
to
their time.
a new,
They've served their
yeah,
time. Yes, man. Yes, man. It's like these people have lifelong memberships in these associations.
yeah. So while we continue our program, we just want to once again big up our viewers, our listeners who are on various social media platforms. We would like to apologize for some technical glitches that we're currently experiencing, and we just await your patience. We're trying to sort it out as quickly as possible. But in the meantime, we are happy to have you on. We are happy to have you be a part of the discussion. Keep sending those comments, those likes, those shares. And we want to say a big thank you for joining us, not just tonight, but week in, week out. And the Track and Field family values you, and we appreciate the dedication and commitment that you guys take out of your busy time to always be a part of our show. So I will just motivate those persons that we really can, and we are going to just grow as a group and as a talknet. And Latoya will have so much more to say, and I'm pretty sure she is actually smiling away because she just really want to touch on the fact that we need to get going with track and field back in Western Jamaica. It has been far too long now without any sort of communication as to the start. When will we see some work on the Montego Bay Sports Complex in Catherine Hall?
I I will say thank you so much for that. I appreciate all that which you just said because these are some questions that we have as track fans. And I will say to us here tonight as a family that come early April, I hope that you all will join us back here live again, where we will be able to ask some of those questions and most likely possible get those answers to those questions, because come April we will be having the president of the J3 live here at Track and Field Talknet with us. So whatever questions you may have, we may able to ask some of those and see if it's possible to get that. So remember, in timing, please remember to just
To go
follow
on
us on
and
all
jot
our.
down your questions from now.
That's true. And also to follow us and subscribe to our channels so that you won't miss it. So Tavaine is back and we will just jump right back
What a
into
night
it.
that will be.
Oh, Jesus, a great one indeed. So Tavaine is back. Thank you
That
so
sounds
much.
like Lord Jesus we shall see.
Tavaine, thank you so much for coming back. I do understand. And it's because I know that we are having some issues. We're just going to just basically wrapping this up as quickly so that we will be able to continue this. So turning this part of this section over to you, Kino. This is your thing. Go ahead with Tavaine for me now.
All right, Tavaine. So we have a little game here that we play. I'm going to call some names, and well, let's start with this first. Top three athletes, female, senior, in ascending order. Your favorite top three athletes.
Shelly and Fraser Price.
She would be number one.
Number one, yeah. Sherika Jackson. Number two, and I'll say Elaine Thompson.
Okay. And
So the
on the
top
male
three.
side,
On the male side, Oblique Civil. Currently, right? It has to be at least running right now.
it can no.
Oh, you see in both.
All right.
You and Blake, and then Oblique Civil.
You sure you don't want to fix up the female list again, like oh you can add some past?
But not just that, Kino.
No.
But not just that, about him fixing up the female list. Have you noticed something about the male list, though, that is about a racist thing, though, for him?
I was about to say that it's straight racers. It's straight racers. But yeah.
All right, so we have the six, and I'm going to call some names now, and you're going to use one word to describe these athletes. I'm not going to call the older ones because they didn't know who Karen Stewart was.
No, but Tavaine look
Right.
like he's different. No, Tavaine look like he's
look like
different
you
from.
better know?
Him look like him different from DeAndre.
No,
Because
I'm
mean,
very much younger, as I said, as I said, track and field.
Yeah.
I'm very much still young to track and field, so no.
All right, so you must know this person. Veronica Campbell Brown, one word.
Determined.
Yeah.
Sherika Jackson, one word.
Sherika Jackson, strong.
Strong.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Merlin
Shelly and
Otti.
Fraser Prize.
Merlin Otti, first.
Martinati, talented.
Talented. And Shelley and Fraser Price.
Shelly and Fraser, wonderful.
Elaine Thompson era.
Determined.
Okay.
Determined as well.
So, the other day I asked somebody, I called three names and I said Elaine Thompson era, somebody said Feisty. But I absolutely adore her for that because she don't take, But I'm going to throw a curveball. Tina Clayton.
Tina Clayton. I would say I also say determined, but I would say furious.
Furious. And what about her sister Tia?
Yeah. I would say the same thing. They're both.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think one is more special than the other? Or more talented? Let's put it that way.
They both have good talents. About more talented than the others, I would not like to comment on that one.
Can I, as a host, get a chance to comment?
Sure.
Go ahead, Odion.
I think both are extremely talented. I think both are extremely talented athletes, and both love each other, and we all know that, and we see that they are very determined. In terms of, you asked just now if we think that one has perhaps a little bit more talent. I think Tia naturally has better potential. However, the word I was looking for from Tavaine as it relates to Tina, she's a warrior. She is the workaholic. She is hard worker. She trains and put in work. And I think if both are trained perhaps equally and go out there, you tend to get a more, we call it now, warrior type mentality from a Tina Clayton. And I get that equivalent to a Shelley and Fraser Price when you prepare her for races, even if she's not necessarily in the best of form, she turns up. Not that Tia doesn't, but Tina Clayton has that for me in terms of the warrior, the fighting spirit. We all saw at Champs in the last year they competed. Everybody, it was like the gold medal was heading to Ferry. And she says, Tia, even if you're not going to do it, I will have to ensure that it goes back to Frank Field. And I think from that day on, I just believe that she has that spirit. And we see her recovery now coming back from her injuries because of that level of determination that she has. Both are talented though, but I think the word you're looking for is that she's a warrior.
All right. Good points there, Odion. Well, let's go over to the male side. Asafa Powell.
Fast.
Fast. What do you think about Asafa's technique? Technically, what do you think about Asafa?
Well,
Do you
pertaining to
think it's the
technique, wise,
blueprint?
actually, I do think it's the blueprint. Because for me, I always look at his races to see how can better my technique. He's the athlete that I look at based on technique. So Asafa is who I look at pertaining to technique wise. So I would definitely say he's the blueprint.
Okay. Oblique Civil.
Oblique Seville. For him, I would definitely say Warrior.
Warrior. Warrior. Curveball again. Rasheed McDonald.
Rashid McDonald. I would also say determined for him, you know.
Okay. Okay. I
Shane
probably would use
What
Thompson.
time
another.
was on your face?
I would use another word, but anyway.
What word would you
Thank you for your point of
what
view.
word would you use for him?
Huh?
I saw
What
somebody
word would
wiping
you
the
use for
face
him?
just now.
You're asking what word would I use for him?
Yeah.
Um,
Lucky. Always find
lucky,
a seat
lucky,
on the plane.
lucky,
Yeah.
lucky is the word.
It's probably he's determined to make the team, you know. So that's why
Brother, the
he
man
always
always
finds
find
himself
a way
find.
for the plane. Him always just reach for the plane, no matter what. If they on the
Yeah.
plane,
Yeah,
no
man.
matter who for put him off a kick when they on the plane. Um,
This
Even
one,
if he's gonna
sorry,
be the
this one is
pilot.
not going to, this one is not going to throw you under the bus, but I just want to hear what your word is. DeAndre Daly.
that
DeAndre
was
Day.
my last one.
DeAndre Day is very um I use determine a lot, but for him and his injuries, true, I've been there with him, so I've seen him. I always hear athlete stories, but for pertaining to DeAndre, I've seen it. So I'll definitely say determined for him because what he has been through as a junior athlete, it's
Many
not easy.
Jamaicans is not aware of it.
It's not
Yeah.
easy to get up and go back and run again and again and again. I think since I've been at Herbert Morris, I've seen him tear the hamstring about 4 times, if not more than that. So coming back from those injuries and being where he is right now, you have to have a strong mind and you got to be determined. So for him, it's definitely determined.
I want to piggyback on that quickly. What do you say to Jamaicans who say them done, Elaine done, Johan Blake done, they must go home, go sit down, um, with the understanding that you have know of injuries and how it can affect athletes and their progression. What do you say to Jamaicans who are so hard on these athletes saying, go sit down, retire from the sport?
that's the thing, with track and field, and not only track and field, sports on a whole. Once somebody is not performing how they normally do or to their best, you look at them and say, oh, they fall off or oh, they're not running again. Trust me, I've been there since I've won in class 3. I've heard a lot of things. So, but you just have to believe in yourself. People have their own opinion. People are going to always say what they want to say. I always say to myself that you just got to be happy with yourself because you have 3 different persons telling you 3 different things. At the end of the day, you can't please those 3 different persons. So just do what makes you happy. If you have a love for the sports, continue to fight for it. Continue to persevere in whatever you do, no matter what comes in your way.
Okay. Thank you for that. I
Good
have
answer.
just one last question for you. So, because football was your first choice, boys and men tend to play fantasy football, the game. So,
Yeah.
we tend to play fantasy relay team here at Track and Field Tournament. So, I would like for you to build for me the 4x1 team that you would love to put together that any other team wouldn't be able to beat, both for seniors, and I would also like for you to put that same team together for juniors for me, male
All
and
right. So
female,
I'm senior. You
current athletes.
currently senior. Um, I'm a starting leg. I'll have um Akeem Blake. I'll put Akeem
Well,
Blake as
track
my
and
start.
field.
So for senior, I'll have Akeem Blake as my start leg. I'd have Kishan Thumbs running that box stretch.
Cool.
On my third leg, who would I put on my third leg? I see my teammate DeAndre Daly on that third leg. Even though he had problems running the curve, I see my teammate DeAndre Daly now that he's a senior. So I see him running the third leg and having obliques. Actually, I see oblique civil on the third leg and DeAndre Daly on the anchor leg.
Okay.
That would have been my flip as well from
I
what you
was
have.
about to say, if you
Yeah,
didn't flip it that
yeah,
way, that's the way I would have flipped it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'll see oblique civil running the third leg and DeAndre on the anchor.
Okay. Females?
Females wise now, Brenna Williams on the start leg. Sherika Jackson. Shelly and Fraser Price. And then Elaine Thompson.
Why not Shelly
Easy.
start?
Why not Shelly start? I think because I have in mind Brianna Williams running that relay, and I think she would be more used on the first leg than a third leg. So if I had to pick one of them, I'd rather to put she at the start and Shelly at the curve.
Have you
Perfect.
have
Perfect answer.
have, have you ever seen Shelly start?
In the 100, yes, and it's a good start, but I believe that if you need both athletes to run on that team, it's not about what one athlete can do, but the both of them have a great start, we can say. Both Brianna Williams and Shelly and Fraser Price. But Shelly and Fraser Price is more experienced. Brianna pertaining to making team, I haven't seen Brianna Williams running on a third leg.
The reason why I asked the question is because for years Shelly is probably our best starter on a relay. A lot of the younger people wouldn't know that, and she hasn't done it in quite a while. But Odion can tell you that Shelly.
Yeah, 2008, 2012,
Well,
she would have been there. And we must give some sort of credit to her, though. She has now maxed out all levels of the 4x1. She has start, she has backstretch, she has third leg, she has anchor. And that's part of the reason I like your answer with Elaine Thompson being on the anchor leg. Diversity. Seeing Sherika Jackson finally getting a chance on the second leg also would be great because she will be extending or running a longer leg, which and she will basically have more time to build up her speed. So that's
Yes,
good. It
because her
seems like
turnover
you
is a
have,
little bit slower than the
yeah.
others.
hmm I really think I appreciate your team, the way you set those teams up. And in the case of Brianna Fraser Price, I also agree with you. Both are great starters, but Brianna would perhaps be better used on a first leg versus any other leg. It's not that Shelly can't go elsewhere, but for me, Brianna would be best suited on the leader of leg.
And I appreciate, I saw why he would not change it, because he he had his second leg and his ankle leg firmly situated. So that
Yeah.
is one of the reasons why he's saying Brianna would better be used as the start than Shelly. So perfect. I was never going to touch your team there. Perfect. So now to your juniors.
You lost him there.
We lost him there, right, completely. Right. So I thank him so much for being here with us. I thank him so much for being a part of this evening and making it an exciting one. We thank the entire family for coming out and supporting him, and reminding him that he is indeed loved. He is coming back on. But we definitely appreciate, so let me get
Who
his
is
name.
this? Who is, you know, sorry. Go ahead,
Tavaine,
guys.
So
I want to say thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you so much for taking the time out for us to know, got to know you more, better, and also for being here and helping us understand, Tavaine, helping us to understand what is happening and where your mindset is and how you're looking forward to transition continuously into the person you are becoming. We here hope that you will continue to remain humble and grounded in what it is that you're doing, and we here definitely will be, watching your progress. We'll be here seeing your progress, and we definitely will be cheering you on alongside your family, your community. And we definitely say thanks to bringing out your community to support you and to remind you that you are supported, that you are loved, and that you are enough. So thank you so much for joining us and for being here with us. Odi,
all right,
anything to
thank you. Thanks for
Yes,
having me.
I also want to just express thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule just to be with us this evening. And we just want to say a big thank you also to your coach for preparing you well. We just want to just express our appreciation, and to encourage you to just keep focused, keep strong, and just understand that you have talent and you have the ability and you can do all things through Christ, because He definitely strengthens you, and you are going to be the future of Jamaica track and field. Big up yourself, much respect, continue to fly the national flag high and definitely the Herbie flag high. One
Yeah, man,
Compre,
thank you.
Herbert Morrison HMTHS for life. I'm out.
All right, thank you.
Kino?
Um, there's no doubt in my mind that you're going to transition, and uh, someone of your intelligence will make very good use of this opportunity. What I would encourage you to do is to understand the business aspect of it as well. Try to become au fait with that, and surround yourself with a team that understands the sport, but not only that, a team that has your best interest at heart. And the sky is the limit. With all of that together and God in the midst of it, and your faith grounded in that, sky is the limit.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will.
No problem, Miss Janet Grant, who is thank us for having Tavaine online. Another great name. I tell you how powerful the Grant name is. But we just want to say thanks as well to our viewers, our listeners, those actually watching, those actually listening, those who actually at work, school, wherever you are in the world. We want to thank you so much, and I'll hand over back to our anchor, who will do our final closeout.
Okay. Thank you again, Tavaine. So, guys, Once again, thank you all for coming out. We hope that you will join us again tomorrow for another exciting interview where we will be having Osmond Holt of Mushet High School that we'll be interviewing and speaking to again about their progress and moving on. And once again, if you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube page or our YouTube channel, we ask that you do so so that you won't miss it. And definitely, we will be back here again tomorrow and continually be back here featuring our juniors. Likewise, until we get into the sphere on featuring our seniors. But currently, now we are featuring our juniors and hearing from them and just giving them their own voice, and so that they are knowing to be able to own what it is that they have and bring to the table. Definitely, we thank you. So thank you, Sean. He said it was awesome interview. Keep up the good work. It's a pleasure joining this live. Very refreshing. Thank you so much for being here with us. Also, we are happy that we are privileged and honored that you were able to join us, and we hope to see you back here again when it is that we go live. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to you all, wherever it is that you're joining us from. We ask that you continue to be safe. If it is that you are already in the comfort of your home, continue to refresh yourself. And if it is that you are on your way home, we pray that you will continue to be safe. Drive good, walk good, and remember that you are indeed loved. You are enough, and it is always a pleasure to be here. We thank you.